Hi, I'm Dr. Melissa West, and every once in a while I get asked about what the doctor stands for. And so I thought I would give you a little explanation about where that comes from today by giving you a little tour of my degrees. I don't usually spend a lot of time talking about this because I prefer to spend time talking about my philosophy of yoga and the way I teach, but I get asked questions about it sometimes, so, I thought I'd cover off these questions today. Okay, so first of all, I began my academic career at Wilfrid Laurier University, and I did a Bachelor of Music. And I spent a lot of time playing flute there in orchestra. But my degree there, I majored in music theory, and I think that's where my love of structure came in, and why I love the intricacies of designing the structure of a yoga class. So I think I loved designing counterpoint. That was really fun, and I think that's why I really love the structure of yoga classes. So that was at Wilfrid Laurier in Waterloo, Ontario. Beautiful town, loved that university. Then from there, I went on to do my master's at McMaster University in music criticism. And I had a great time there too. I love that university as well, great community. And I wrote my master's thesis there on music, emotions, and the role of the body. And you can see that two of my loves really came out here already. So I was already talking about the body a lot, and I was already talking about emotions a lot here. And I had just started to find yoga here. So this was the beginning of my career as a fitness instructor, actually, and I had just started taking yoga, and so you can start to see how that kind of had started to develop there already. So from McMaster, I went on to York University, and I started my career at York University in the music department, in the ethnomusicology program there, and I realized that it was going to be, I was going to have more opportunity if I switched to communication and cultural studies, which that program didn't even exist when I started at York University, and I did something that nobody does. I switched programs in the middle of a Ph.D. So that was like amazing. Nobody does that, but I did it. That probably doesn't surprise a lot of you. Anyway, so it took me a long time, but I did it. I got my PhD at York University in communications and cultural studies, and here's my PhD dissertation. And my PhD dissertation was on celebrity, and actually the title of it was on Madonna. I almost blush to tell you that, but it's called Marketing Madonna. Celebrity agency across the cultural, I don't even remember this anymore. Across the culture industry, the process of commodification and audiences, meanings, and practices. Anyway, the way I think this really ties into what I do now is that I think as yogis, we almost have to pull ourselves out of the trance of culture, and I talk about that a lot. And culture has quite a hold over us, and media has quite a hold over us, and I think I learned about that a lot in my PhD. So yes, that's where the doctor comes from. It's legit, and that's why I get to call myself doctor. And this document sits in the Library of Congress, and I am published. I have a few publications. I decided to leave academia because it wasn't for me. To me, it was just too harsh an environment for me. Way too competitive. The whole academia is based on cutting down each other's work, and I just prefer to build each other up. I'm much more a fan of ahimsa, nonviolence, and it just wasn't for me. So that's why you get me teaching you yoga. So then the question becomes about my yoga lineage. So I began my training in yoga. I spent a lot of time at Esther Myers Yoga Studio. I actually started at Esther Myers right after Esther died. My main teacher at Esther Myers Yoga Studio was Tama Soble, and I love and adore their approach. Their focus is very much on breathing, grounding, and spinal elongation, and I just totally adored it, fell in love with it, spent a number of years there. But for me, it wasn't quite enough. I feel that there's more. It's just the beginning. And so I wanted to get into the psychology and more spiritual aspects of yoga, and they really are really true to their philosophy of breathing, grounding, and spinal elongation, and really stay with that. And so from there, I moved on to Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapy. And at Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapy, I got my training as a Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapist. I am a certified Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapist, as well as a Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapist. They have a teacher training program there too, so I'm certified as a registered yoga teacher through their teacher training program. And I'm also a Phoenix Rising Yoga Therapist group facilitator. So for all of those of you who are interested in where I came from and the path that I traveled to get to where I am today, that's a little bit about my history.
You've been enjoying Living Your Yoga with your host, Dr. Melissa West. For more information or to contact Melissa, visit www.livingyouryoga.ca.